Hey, welcome to Preacher to Teacher. My name is Terry, and this thing right here is going to be the single thing that causes you more struggle in the classroom than any other thing you face. Well, if you are an elementary teacher, you probably just don't allow cell phones in your classroom. If you're a middle school teacher, you probably don't either. There's some process that you have to collect them. You might even have a shoe organizer where kids place their cell phones at the beginning of the day. But the further along in high school you go, the more you're going to have to deal with cell phones. I'm going to put in the video description 2 links that will help you understand the significance of cell phones in the classroom. To put it bluntly, your students have an addiction, and it's entirely possible that their parents have an addiction. It's possible that you have an addiction, and we can be addicted to our cell phones. In fact, put it more accurately, we're addicted to the notifications that we get primarily on social media sites. And so this cell phone is going to be an issue for you. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do. So you have a few options. The first option is, regardless of what grade you teach, you just straight up say there are no cell phones in my classroom. You either make them put them away in their backpack, you have a shoe organizer or some kind of box system. Everybody puts them in there, and then they can collect them at the end of class. I teach primarily seniors, and that is not something that's going to go over well with my students. So that's not what I have decided. What I've done in my classroom is I let them use their cell phones, especially if their devices aren't working. Frequently their cell phones are faster devices than their school-issued devices, and they can get a lot more accomplished on their cell phones than on their school devices. And so I'll let them use their cell phones for coursework. But my personal classroom rule is you cannot use your cell phone for social media, any type of social media, texting anyone other than their parents, and that's another issue in and of itself. Parents text their kids nonstop through the day, and it can present a challenge to you. So I do recognize that my students are going to text their parents, but one of the things that if you let them do cell phones in the classroom, one of the things that you're going to have to watch for is that motion right there. What they're doing is they're closing apps, and if you ask them if they're on social media and you see them do that with their thumb, you immediately know that whatever's getting ready to come out of their mouth is probably not going to be the truth, because they've already closed an app that they were on. So you have to create this, at least in my context, my personal belief is you have to create this relationship with your students that is going to serve you well when it comes to the cell phone. If at the end of a class, if you're done a couple minutes early, you can tell them, all right, you can get out your cell phones and you can hop on social media if you want. There is an addiction that they have that deeply desires the notification stuff that they're going to get. And the reality is when they go home, they're not going to have parameters. Most kids don't have parameters at home for how long they're able to spend on their cell phones. So for 8+ hours at home, they're going to be addicted to their cell phone. We are not going to break that in the classroom. We don't have time to break that in the classroom. I have kids that will go home, they get home at 4 o'clock, and they'll be on TikTok for 10 hours straight, and they'll go to bed at 2 a.m. We have to deal with this in the classroom. So how we choose to deal with it is either going to make or break us. My advice, don't make the cell phone the hill that you're going to die on. I'm going to make social media a hill that I die on, because that is the primary source of the addiction. But if I can create respect, mutual respect, by allowing them to do work on their phone, they're going to be able to see the notification pop up. They're going to know it's there. They're going to know that I'm going to give them permission to check it out later. They know they don't have to wait long, and at the end of the day, it creates a better teacher-student relationship. Well, listen, the simple fact of the matter is, when it comes to cell phones, you are going to have to figure out how you personally are going to deal with it. And in this issue, there are not a lot of great solutions out there. So if you'd like, share in the comments. If you've discovered a process other than confiscation that has worked for you, share it. Let's get better together. Hey, I want to remind you, you matter, what you do matters, and how you handle this in the classroom will definitely matter to your kids. I hope you're having a great summer. Look forward to talking again soon.